And we are live, Laura. All right. Hello,
Yay!
hello, everybody. Awesome.
Tonight I'm super excited, dearly.
I'm
Because
super excited.
there's so much stuff out there right now, and I know our intention tonight's really talking about what is really going on with belly fat, especially for women over the age of 40. And so I've got a bunch of information I want to share, as well as ask questions. But knowing that stress builds storage and safety burns is what builds the burn. And I want to talk about that. And for my props tonight, just so you know, I've got fat and I have different kinds of timers. They come in handy, you guys. And of course, like all of you have, because I just saw you, water, dehydration. So, how many of you feel like your belly has its own personality? And it's not the fun kind. It's the kind that shows up at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when you're trying to put on a pair of pants and like you have to negotiate with your jeans. And here's what I need you to hear first. Your belly fat has been stubborn. So you're not broken, you're not lazy, you don't need to push your body even harder. This is 5 pounds of fat. It looks like a lot, but it literally is only 5 pounds. And tonight I want to show you what's actually happening with belly fat after 40. And I want you to leave with 3 simple actions that you can start today that tell your body we're safe, we can burn. Because we're trying to burn fuel, we're trying to burn calories, we're trying to burn fat. And by the end of this, I want you to be aware of 2 different kinds of fat, belly fat, why stress and sleep can really block the progress, even if you're eating, quote unquote, and also how to flip the switch. So you go from storage to burn without extremes. And I think that's so often we see out there, don't we? The extremes that people have to put themselves to, and we don't. And if this hits you personally, good. That means your body has been trying to communicate with you. It's not about shame. It's about the signals. And it's about you listening to your body. So I want to talk about 2 different kinds of fat. And Darla, if you put that first slide on, I'll let Cindy in.
Okay.
2 different kinds of fat. And we got subcutaneous and visceral. And this is sort of when you go, oh, aha. The subcutaneous fat is the fat you can pinch under your skin. So if I pinch an inch on my shoulder, my arm, the bottom of my arm, I blame everything that's hanging down here on my grandmother, by the way. You can pinch it there. It's not ideal to have subcutaneous fat, but it's not the biggest health risk. Visceral fat is deeper. So in this diagram, you'll see subcutaneous fat, like they've got a slice of the belly. So it's right underneath the skin around that belly line. Visceral fat is deeper. It wraps around your organs, your liver, your intestines, your pancreas. You can't pinch it. You can here's what I find so interesting. You can look really good and have high visceral fat. It's not about the scale. Can any of you relate to this? Exhausted, even after sleeping, bloated by the end of the day, brain fog, and your belly just feels tight, not soft. This is why crunches don't fix everything, you guys. Abdominal crunches in the exercise room or on a video. Crunches strengthen a muscle, your abdominals, which is great. But visceral fat is metabolic and a stress conversation. Metabolic means it's alive. And when you're doing, okay, the other day I watched a bunch of women doing abdominal work. First time in with me in the studio, all over the age of 40. And they were doing crunches on the floor. I just was interested. Let me see what's happening. They're lying in their back, knees bent, feet on the floor, fingertips by their head, not interlaced, too much strength, just fingertips supporting, trying to bring their ribs to their hips. And there are some people, they're literally pushing their belly out while they're crunching. So what is that going to do? That big long muscle down the front of your body, your rectus abdominis, if you're constantly pushing it out when you're strengthening it, it's going to strengthen in an out position. So what did it show me? It's not their fault. No one's ever taught them how to pull in the abdominal, the core, to pull it in and engage your core. And so everyone's so busy working their abs when the real issue is even deeper. Belly fat isn't a sit-up problem. It's a system problem. And we're going to talk about systems. Here's what's wild. Visceral fat is metabolically active. It's not just sitting there quietly. It interacts with hormones and inflammation, which are the two things we hear, big words. We've been talking about it all the time, wellness warriors. The hormones, what's happening to our hormones during this time of during this upgrade of our life. And inflammation, we're all fighting it. How do we get rid of it? How do we deal with it? So if visceral fat, this stuff around your organs is metabolically active and it interacts with your hormones and your inflammation, we have to regulate stress. So your belly is not being dramatic for no reason. It's responding to what your body thinks is happening. I want that to sink in. It's what your body thinks is happening is how it's responding. Now, I'm going to hit a real driver for many women over 40, cortisol. You've heard us talk about it. Cortisol is your stress hormone. It's designed, you're supposed to have it. It's designed to help you survive short-term stress. So you wake up in the morning, the cortisol level is going to help you get up and get going and get aware. And that cortisol level, about 90 minutes after you wake up or 9:30 in the morning, you being active a little bit, it's going to help lower it back down. And then it's going to be like a moderate level, which is good for us. But here's what's so interesting. And I'm going to call it modern day stress. If our cortisol is our stress hormone, and if it's designed to help you survive short-term stress, that's not how we're living nowadays. The modern stress is a short term. You guys, this all sound familiar to every single one of you that I know in here. Constant deadlines, a mental load, dealing with a lot, caregiving, broken sleep, get up 3 or 4 times a night to go to sleep, go to the bathroom, non-stop notifications on your phone, on your apparatus. And I'm sure you've all said this before, I'll rest when I get everything else done, which is basically never happening. We still have lists. So when your cortisol stays high, your body reads it as not safe. Daryl, do you mind putting on that second slide?
Sure.
This is like a loop. There we go. Perfect. So in cortisol, you have modern day stress. When cortisol stays high, your body stores it, hangs onto it, because you might need this fuel storage. So your cortisol stay high, so your body's going to hang on to energy, which is fat. Fat is tons of energy. And to put in perspective, 1 little gram of fat has more energy than a gram of protein or a gram of carbohydrate. And think about like little birds, like most birds or even hummingbird. They eat seeds, which is really high in fat. And that gets them flying forever. So those high concentration of fats that the birds live with. But for us, if your body is saying not safe, it prioritizes your fuel storage, makes you hang on to fat, and it stores it close to your vital organs because it wants, as I just told you, it's metabolically active. It wants fast access. So on the slide here, modern day stress, the things we're dealing with, constant deadlines, the mental load, caregiving, broken sleep, as I said, nonstop notifications on our phones or emails. Cortisol stays high because you're in overdrive. Your body quick is now going to hang on to all the fuel it can get. Hang on to the fat, hang on to the calories, hang on to it because it's as visceral fat is near your organs and it's going to be there for quick access and energy if you need it. So that's why dieting is really hard and over exercising can even backfire because it adds more stress to the system. So, there's many people doing many things right. There's one client, I'll call her Sarah, because there's the 1,000 Sarahs out there. Tell me if this makes sense. She eats pretty clean. She's tried all the plans. She works out. She's so disciplined, but she's also running on caffeine, sleeping broken hours, carrying everyone else's weight, doing a lot of things for everyone else, and never fully exhaling, never fully exhaling. And her body is, thanks for the salad. It was super healthy, but we're still in danger. And this is, you guys, this is all about biology, not a character flaw. So I want to downshift here for just a minute and have you try something for me. So assuming if you're standing busy doing dishes, that's okay. Just pause. But pause what you're doing. And this is not this is your body. This is physiology. I want you to sit, stand wherever you are comfortably. And I want you to inhale through your nose. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And then I want you to exhale through your mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do it 3 times and just feel what your body is telling you. Here's the first one. Ready? Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4 through your nose. Hold it. Exhale through your mouth. Shh. Inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Shh. One more time. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Shh. And one more from me, but this time, if you haven't already, put your hand on your chest. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Shh. Did you feel that? It's like you're telling your nervous system we're safe. And your body needs that signal to stop clinging or hanging on. And for women over 40, people have just been told to try harder. Oh, you just got to try harder. But then if the nervous system is deregulated, it's not working well, then if the nervous system is dysregulated, not working well, trying harder is going to increase your stress load. And that's going to reinforce the holding pattern. So when I guide you through the breathing and say, this is you telling your body you're safe, what you're really saying is, we can release. No need to store. And that's what I'm talking about. There's one sentence. Daily, do we put this in a slide? We didn't we? Yeah. Stress builds storage. Safety builds burn. Get out of your comfort zone. I want you to say it out loud. Stress builds storage. Safety builds burn. Say it one more time. Stress builds storage, but safety builds burn. Because every choice you make this week can be filtered through that one sentence. I just wanted to reflect on that for a second. So just you reflecting that, is this a stress because I want to feel safe? And how can I do a couple deep breathing exercises to feel safe? Do I need to do that maybe 1 hour every day when I'm at my desk working, when I have a low overload and pressure and time frames to get things completed? By me stopping, doing a couple deep breaths is going to help my body and nervous system get back to that safe zone. Now, quick hope moment. Your body has something called brown fat. So it has subcutaneous, visceral, or 5 pounds of fat, and brown fat. Now, brown fat burns energy and creates heat. It's packed with mitochondria. I love mitochondria. They're like little energy houses in your muscles as well as in brown fat. They're engines, they help burn. Adults still have brown fat, but it gets less active when we're sedentary. That means when you're sitting down a lot, not very active, stressed, or sleep deprived. I'm sure we all know people in one of those 3 areas: sedentary, stress, and sleep deprived. So your goal is not to create it from scratch. You're just trying to wake it up. So we have some brown fat, little babies, they've got it very active. That keeps them warm and so forth. But you guys, we wanted to get it burning so we can wake it up. We don't need extremes. We just need signals. And these signals, which are on the next slide, are, it's going to seem so mundane to you, but these are just something you can do. And let me flick back here. See, good job. Here we go. Okay, you know this stuff. And we can be telling you, I think it's so interesting how much we have to hear before we actually take a step forward. What happens in our life that's damaging to us? Oh man, I should have just started that a month ago. Or you guys, we love you so much, and we want more than anyone to appreciate once they step into this mode, it's everything starts to tick. Daily movement, especially after your meals. Strength training twice a week. Protein plus fiber when you're eating to stabilize your blood sugar. A sleep routine that calms your system. Breathing downshifts during stress, the box breathing, or what we just tried a minute ago. And cool exposure in a shower. End your shower with a little bit colder water. It does not mean you need to do a cold plunge. We're not trying to go in that area right now, but nothing wrong with you having a nice little cool last minute of your shower being a little bit colder. Keeping the slide up for a second. I want you, can you guys all get a piece of paper and pencil? Or unless you have your phone there and by the way, don't use your phone. Your brain, just by you using a pen on paper or pencil, uses 6 more parts of your brain. Nowadays, with the way mental health is, I think I'm going to always want to be using 6 more parts of my brain. So here are 3, as I promised, take-home nuggets. Number 1, and I'm not showing you a screenshot for you to take. I want you to write it down because it's going to mean more when you go back and look at it. Once a day, do 2 minutes of breath work, box breathing, or do this 2 minutes a day, where we inhale through our nose, exhale through our mouth. The best time of day, before bed, before meals, or maybe right after a stressful call, or maybe right before you're going into a nerve-wracking situation. Maybe you have the interview, maybe you're speaking. That 2-minute downshift of your nervous system, it's going to lower the danger signal and help you burn. Golden nugget number 2, and some of you actually do this in here. Pick 1 meal a day, your biggest one ideally. That means where you're consuming the most calories, the most food. I want you to walk 8 to 12 minutes after. Not power walking like you're late for a flight, just slow and steady. Why? Because you're going to be moving your body. And as we said, we need to feel safe. We want to lower our blood sugar, have a little stable blood sugar, tells your body that you're regulated, hence you can burn. So far, number 1, 2 minutes of breath work every day. If you do it twice a day, fabulous. Just keep in mind, they never taught us this. They didn't do breath work in kindergarten. So we're having to do what people have been doing for a gazillion years in some of these disciplines, yoga, meditation, whatever. Some of us are now like, oh, I get it. Just by stopping and calming down my nervous system, such benefits. The second one was moving to regulate blood sugar, 8 to 12 minutes after one of your meals, ideally your biggest one. And the third one, protein and fiber. There's a lot of information, as you know, in our Wellness Warrior group about this, and we've given out samples before, but at breakfast and at lunch especially, always pair the protein and the fiber. Examples, Dara Lee's given you tons of them. Greek yogurt, berries, and chia seeds. Eggs and sauteed vegetables. Again, a couple more on my list. Chicken or tuna, and a salad and olive oil. Tofu, which I know you're doing on your Meatless Monday, Dara Lee. Veggies and lentils. The reason is protein and fiber is you're going to have less of a spike of glycogen, everything else, and you're going to end up having less of a crash, fewer cravings, and less storage signal. Because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to get you to not store visceral fat and get you to start using it. Okay. I want to share one more thing with you. This story, I tell you, I can relate to it. My mom, my sisters, and I went to a yoga retreat in Mexico. And you ever notice when you go on vacation, you might eat the same, you might move a little less, and your belly is calmer? It's not really magic. That's when your nervous system finally gets the message that you're safe. And many times when you come back from a break, a vacation, people go, "Oh, you look so relaxed." It's basically we gave our body a break from being in that, whether you want to call it fight or flight or that high cholesterol stage. And that's safety. Changes your hormones. Safety changes appetite. Safety changes your belly fat. So, visceral belly fat isn't just about calories. It's often about chronic stress, blood sugar cravings or blood sugar swings, you eating one way and another, sleep disruption, low muscle signals, and a nervous system stuck in go mode. And we talked about the other night how are you in go mode all the time? Are you building in those moments of pause? And back to low muscle signals. This is why strength training is so important. We want to be having the good muscle tone so our muscles can talk, metabolically be working. And as with visceral fat, it's metabolically active. And we want to get the brown fat moving. We want to feel like we can get rid of some of our subcutaneous body fat as fuel. Your body loves to use fat for fuel, but getting that fat away from your organs, this is where we all need to make a change. So, why did I have my water bottle? To remind myself to stay hydrated, even when it's cold weather. Timers. I collect timers. I love them. They're so cute. I have this in different colors. But it's so interesting. One is for maybe 1 minute, one's for a little bit longer. But when I sit down and when I dive into something, if I have a timer, at least when this goes down, I know I'm going to say, oh my gosh, where'd the time go? But that's when I need to get up and move. That's when I need to get up and stretch, refill my water bottle, and be aware and go back and at least try and do one set of inhale through my nose, exhale through my mouth for 2 minutes. So I really thank all of you guys for being here, and hopefully your goal is to, as we've been theming for the last couple of weeks, think about we're talking about the inside. We're talking about not just what's underneath your skin, which sometimes bugs the daylights out of us, but we're talking about stuff we can't get out that's around our organs. We want that inside to be healthy, so our body as a machine can work and deliver the energy that we need. So for you to reflect on those three nuggets, how you can add them to your daily life. And sleep, I want to mention one more thing about sleep. The My mom shared this the other night. She's very much as a teacher into words and what helps her navigate her life. And at 97, she's really been upset that she gets up every hour on the hour to go to the bathroom. And when she went to see the doctor, said, well, look, don't worry about that. Just you're looking at a cumulative sleep for the day. So when she gets up and has, let's say, lunch and she has a 20-minute head down on the table nap, she's got to count that because she's out like a light. And if she gets 45 minutes of solid sleep, when she first goes to bed, that counts. And then another 45 minutes solid sleep. So it's been able to give her a reframing of what her sleep is. And she gets a good night's sleep, even though she never thought she did. So for us to reframe our day, what our day looks like, what our workload looks like, what are our stresses, we get so used to them sometimes we think that we're not stressed out at all. And you're working in such a high mode. So reflecting back in our lives, so nice to see so many of you here. It is just pause. And if you can make one small change, which is what we're all about, then it's going to reflect on your body burning, not storing. And if you're not already in the membership, dearly, I love that book call. Pop that in there. I know most of you are on the Facebook page, which is great, private. A lot of information being poured in there. And with jumping on a call, if any of this can relate to you and you're like, I just need a plan. Sometimes just talking to somebody else where they're asking you interesting questions can help you navigate where you need to go because we're all in different places. And everyone listening to this or the replay, how valuable you're here right now, unless you've got another screen up and you're busy working. How valuable would this be to you to just right now think about what your day has been like? How are you going to fit the three nuggets in before you go to bed? And then what you're going to do tomorrow and how you're going to plan that out.
Laura, before we quit, Gaby just asked for that first slide again, quick, okay?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Let's just go through all of them again.
Okay.
So the reason I love this slide so much is you never realize how much stuff you've got in there. Our intestines take up a heap of space. But do you see how everything's stuffed together? And if this girl had the front of her on, you would think, yeah, she's probably a little bit overweight, but she's not. She's okay. And I feel like this sometimes, or maybe I want to be like this. But when you see how packed the inside of her belly is, then you just think think how these poor little organs feel being jammed into corners and pushed around because of visceral fat. And subcutaneous fat, right underneath, we burn that. And when you burn fat, you burn it evenly from all of your body, chin, around your fingers. That's why your fingers rings get loose, or someone says, "Oh, Laura, it looks like you're losing some weight." Maybe because my chin got narrower in here, but it goes evenly from everywhere. Visceral fat, on the other hand, your body just shoves it right in there near organs. Because why? Do you remember what we talked about? It means easy access in case so the blood flow can go right into these organs in case they need it, in case they need that energy. That's why it's next to organs, so it can get into the blood flow. Visceral subcutaneous fats out. I have one client with a very large abdominal area, and this is what I think of every time I'm with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, how can you possibly breathe? Everything must be all shoved up in there. But as I also mentioned, someone can look really super lean and fit, and you test their body fat and you find out their subcutaneous body fat, which is what I test, is like really high and off the charts. And some machines can test visceral fat because they're testing like water content and so forth. But the visceral fat is deeper, goes around your organs. We need our organs to be working properly, and unfortunately, you can't pinch it there. Now, the next slide was talking about modern day stress, which I've been thinking, reflecting, it's not like the way my mom was. She had somehow had a schedule organized, and I know Gaby's here, and it'd be interesting what her mom was like with her schedule. They were busy. They didn't have technology beeping at them all the time, but they were busy with kids, often less hired help. But modern day stress, when I see my moms here, oh my gosh, even if they have two nannies at home, they are in high gear, they're racing from Pilates to yoga. They might have 45 minutes at each of those classes to calm down, but then they're racing to the next one. But having all these things on our plate nowadays, modern day stress, cortisol is going to stay high for many people. And if it does, you're going to be building up that visceral fat, because visceral fat is going to say, my body's saying, survive, I'm in survival mode. I'm going to hang on to as much visceral fat as I can and hang on to it and put all that fat as storage around my organs just in case. So cravings, fatigue, brain fog, more overwhelm. And we've talked about the buildup, but you can imagine if your life has been in this cycle for month after month, you wouldn't recognize what the other side is. And so that's why it's such a gift when some people breathe with me and they're going, oh my gosh, I feel so relaxed. And yes. Or they did something different. They went and did a dance class and were able to be footloose. Okay, next one. And if you came in late, we were saying this out loud. Stress is going to build storage, but safety builds burn. Safety enables your body to function better, able to burn calories for fuel. I'm sure some people feel very safe overeating. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you and your lifestyle. If your goal is to get a little healthier, you've got to do some strength training. Your body, all this is going to help. Good sleep, accumulative sleep, pausing, doing the breathing, and moving. That 8 to 12 minutes after a meal. I think that might turn into 8 to 12 minutes after every meal. It'll feel so good for you. And that's what I love. And the last one was our go-to. These are just guidelines, you guys. We have it all for you. We're doing strength training in the Facebook. You've got the membership with stuff in there. You've got endless conversations on protein and fiber and how to help. If now is when you finally are like, I know, but now I'm ready to listen, that's totally fine. That's why we dropped the link to book a call. Because then we can, I don't know about you, sometimes I have to make a phone call to find out where I'm supposed to be going. Not a problem. Breathing downshifts or just taking that moment to breathe. And sleep routines that calm your system. Some of you might find napping for 10 minutes has done wonders in your lifestyle. Why not? It's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, because then you'll be all rejuvenated to hit it again. And the shower, for those that take showers rather than a bath all the time, just put on that cold water at their end would be fabulous. And just to drop the link one more time, dearly, for the call, only because I know sometimes they don't see it. And you guys, you all will get replay of this, and we'll put everything in the email. But hopefully that cleared up. I know you all don't have this sitting on your desk to remind you, but it's so crazy, right? It's only 5 pounds. And you're like, how many people know? I just want to lose 4 or 5 pounds. You don't want to lose all the water weight, and you do want to gain maybe a little bit of weight with muscle mass. But having quality weight loss, dearly, your 50 pounds did not come off in a month.
Nope.
And that's okay. We just want to feel good, and you will feel good. Just like after you have, it's like it was a story with the girl with the salad. Your body might say, "Thank you for having that beautiful salad," but I haven't slowed down at all, and my body's not gonna, still gonna be in that storage mode rather than let me burn. Any more questions?
I have a question.
Awesome.
What are your thoughts on magnesium for sleep?
Definitely. There's different qualities. I do your homework. And who's marketing it? But I went straight to my health food store and asked a million questions. And most of the questions were answered by her going back to the computer. And because they'll pack it in, they'll say you can take all these different kinds of magnesium in one. I don't know, but you do want to take it at night.
Yeah.
And mine, I ended up doing a powder form. Why? Because I drink a lot of water anyhow, Gabe's, but I wanted to be able to say, okay, one more glass. But I think
Yeah,
it's
I found that I don't have any trouble falling asleep, but I have trouble staying asleep. And I found that when I take magnesium, I can sleep longer through the night.
magnesium's amazing. I have a grounding sheet as well that I use periodically. And for those that don't know, really interesting. You'll see a lot out there about it, but it's basically a sheet with little metal wires in it that you can't see. You put on your bed and you bet you're sleeping on it. As long as part of your skin is touching it. It's a lot of benefits with calming people. It's a grounding sheet. So the wire that comes from it goes into, when you look at your plug and there's a 3-prong needs that circle to go into, that's the grounding prong. So you stick it in there. So it's not electricity. And it's just a grounding sheet. And it's for people, I sleep well as well, Gabe. But for people that don't sleep, sometimes that really helps put them out. But there's so many, like even getting up middle of the night if you're not a strong sleeper and having a favorite meditation to put on. I think we all find our own little tools, but I love what my mom found out. That it's not about am I getting 7 hours sleep or 6 hours sleep? It's what is the quality of that sleep and accumulatively does it add up? You know, you had another question.
Yeah, Cynthia has a question, Laura. How can you get tested for how much visceral fat you have and then test to see if it's changing?
I've been down a rabbit hole with that, Cynthia, because I want to see what kind of scale I need to get. And I haven't found anything that satisfies me yet. But we'll definitely report back on the Facebook page and I'll tell you as well when I see you, because I want to have something that's going to show visceral fat and a change and not spend $2,000 on a machine that, oh, I forgot to tell you, really, it's hydration. I have several methods we use now where I'm holding something, an electrical signal goes through my body to give a reading, and that can change so much depending if someone just ate, if they've been doing exercise beforehand. So that's real important. If you guys ever get measured or weighed, make sure it's always the same kind, and you're comparing it, it's always the same time of day for the same situation. but I will find out and report back to you on that. A visceral fat station. That's what I'm going to open.
There you go.
Super fun. Any other questions? And for some reason, you guys, before we finish, if any of you are not Facebook people, just definitely reach out through that link. And when you book a call, tell us, because even though we put most everything in the newsletter, we want to also share with you what's happening in the Wellness Warrior membership community, which it's only $27 a month. But there's so much stuff you can use in there that might be perfect for you. And that's what I need to emphasize. You have to pick what works for you, whether it's Facebook that I've done an exercise program and you're going to go back to your phone and watch it later and do it, or whether you need someone on a call with you, or whether you've got to figure out what works for you. And it's not going to be what your girlfriend picks. It's like all I can say is like when you go pick a walking partner. If someone's walking really fast and you're just starting your walking, or has real long legs and you're just starting your walking program, and you're like, I'll join you, I just can't wait to get in shape. And you go out and you walk with them, whether it's super fast because they have longer leg length, or whether you went farther than you should have at the beginning of just getting walking. 2 days later, your shins are going to be the front of your bottom portion of your leg. Your shins are going to be so sore. It's not going to be a fun experience. And you go, I'll pass on walking today. I'm still a little bit sore. So something as simple as that. If you're going to find someone to walk with, make sure they're same pace as you, and then set the same goals. So all the reason, more importantly, to get someone to start a program with you and to get going. And that's super hard, especially with some of you are dealing with winter. The weather can change everything, but it doesn't mean you can't put you and your friend put on music and you say, and you're talking on whatever you're talking, you both just dance for 10 minutes. Nothing wrong with that. Get a little tambourine. Better yet, get a pencil, tie a ribbon around it, put on some music. All right, my guidelines.
Alrighty. That was great, Laura. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Hopefully we'll take one step forward. Hey, Yvonne. Cool.
All right, then. This is a wrap, and we're going to send it out as a recording, and you certainly can share it. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for your questions.
Alrighty. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.